Yes, everybody, we are family. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. John Oda, and this program is called Connecting with Your Team. If you are here, you are in the right place, guys. So, let me explain you first and foremost of who I am so we can always be on the same page. And the reason why I'm doing this show, right? And some of the concepts and some of the stuff we're going to actually talk about in this show, right? In, in the near future. First and foremost, my name is Dr. John Oda. I'm from a little small town called Michigan City, Indiana. It's 45 miles west of Chicago. So what I grew up as was in the region. And the region was, to me, it was an extension from the south side of Chicago because all of our stations were in Chicago. You know, 2 hours away, we had Lafayette, then we had Indianapolis. We stayed literally in the region. So here it goes. So growing up as in the region area, right? I had a severe stuttering problem. Um, it was it was a challenging time. I come from a family of 10, so I'm 8 of 10. I'm a baby boy. I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers, right? Um, so growing up with a stuttering problem, it was a challenge, to be truly honest with you. I remember my first grade teacher, Sister Oliphant, and she told me that she wanted to speak to my mom, and I'm like, well, why? My mom, mom worked midnight shifts as a nurse. So I told mom. Mom says no big deal. I'm number 8, so of course she had this drill already. Um, the nun said it, so I said, do I leave? She says no. And back in the day, we don't be around grown folks. So she wanted me to be around her. She said John's a good kid. I was playing with some crazy animals and stuff, animals, dolls, the police and stuff. I remember that day riding my little cars and stuff. So she said, listen to me, John's a good kid. People like him. He's likable, but we think he's retarded, and we think that he should go down to the next school in Garfield. All right. And I'm looking at her retarded. I mean, Garfield, really? And this said, I don't only think that he'll finish 8th grade. And I'm like, damn, really 8th grade? Wow, that was amazing to me. And my mother, the strong black woman of that she is, she says, if John leave, they all leave. And we had people in the grade schools was a high school, and of course, guys, it's money. I mean, so let's just say everybody's a capitalist, right? And so of course, she said, well, John can stay. But I had stipulations. And here was my stipulations. My stipulations was I had to go to speech therapy, which I hated. I and then I had to repeat to first grade again, and I don't know why, and I don't know why to actually to today, because back in the day they gave you pluses or minuses. I had all pluses, but I was still back in first grade. No big deal. A different classroom, so it was first and second grade combined, and I was used to be called, "Oh, duh, you're so stupid," and it was almost like being struck by lightning. I felt the aftershock, and of course, guys, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but by the grace of God, I made it through. But what I did that was a little bit different, guys. Right? I devoted my life with working with teenagers because at the time, guys, I had low self-esteem. Right? I had no confidence. The same issues these teens are facing today. I had it. I literally, I had depression. I literally thought that God cursed me. I'm like, why is God making all these people perfect? They can speak, they can do X, Y, and Z, and I can't. And I'm thinking that I'm cursed. And one day, mother said, listen to me, son. Your dad stuttered. Your grandfather stuttered. And they overcame it. So can you. Those words I held on to so freaking tight. Because I know that if I'm persistent, I'm gonna find a way. Right? And of course, high school was not the greatest, right? I played basketball. I was hurt more than I played basketball. Imagine being in 5th grade, being 5'2", and in 6th grade you're being 6'6", growing pains. And I stayed hurt more times than I played basketball. So I didn't really actually enjoy it. I was a pretty good basketball player, but I was always hurt, and that's real talk. So the confidence was low. The self-esteem was low. Now, I knew a lot of people because I come from a huge family, right? My family played sports. They're smart. They're good looking. And I was always compared to a brother of mine, Joe. Joe was good looking. He was an athlete. He was literally a God sent on this earth because none of us outdid Joe. Literally anything, you know. I mean, literally nothing. He was good looking. He was smart. He was an athlete. He was popular. He had everything that I never had. Right. So being number 8, I was compared to him literally my whole life. Your brother's better basketball player. Well, damn, I'm like, hey man, listen to me. If I didn't have surgery when I was 6th grade, I might be pretty good. But I don't want to complain. I don't want to. I don't want to make up excuses, right? So what I did, guys, I studied what makes people tick. I studied how can some kids in high school be confident, have that swag, and other people was like me, shy. I could talk around my friends. Girls didn't really like me, right? And I went through all of this adolescence crazy stuff, plus having a stuttering issue, a confidence issue, and everything that went along through it, right? I literally went along there. So I had a nun tells me I would never graduate 8th grade because I'm retarded. I went to Marquette High School, which I loved that high school. I had a priest tells me it was back in the Iran Contra days, right? Remember one of the girls raised her hand. Well, why are they sending home black people? This priest said because black people are not worth anything. They're black, they're in the projects, and they try to and they try to take advantage of everybody or something like that. So then they say, well, how about John and Dion? Well, they're different blacks. And of course, I told my mom. We went there. The principal, told my mom, that of that she agreed with, the priest. My mom had huge clout. There's 10 of us, right? So the nun left. So the principal left. And then what happened? I transferred to another school, which was completely, oh my God, it was an animal school. Imagine going to a private school and knowing these kids all your life and going to a public school. For me, it was like night and day. I didn't fit in. I just didn't fit in. I felt like I was out of place. I felt like a fish out of water when I went there for the 3 years. I played basketball, got hurt again, my story, right? Didn't have the confidence, didn't have the self-esteem, but I saw these guys with swag, with confidence, with whatever that they had, right? So of course I wanted to figure out what took place and how can I get this, right? And Lord, then I went to high school, praise God, I graduated, went to college, praise God, I graduated, started working in the mental health field, and I was working in the mental health field is because I wanted to make a difference. I went for business. I had a business job. A situation took place where a friend of mine, a sister, she killed herself, and it changed everything for me. So I started going to mental health again, trying to figure out, okay, what's taking place, what's happening. Then I started the mental health field. I was working the midnight shift as a psych tech. And working as a psych tech, it was a little bit different. Working, I didn't deal with the kids. They had a day shift open. I remember I took it because midnight shift was hard, especially on a young guy like myself. Took the midnight job. Took the day job, and I wanted to do groups because I thought it was pretty cool and easy. Man, my first groups, man, my kids told me to go back to the midnight shift because I was terrible. And I'm competitive, guys. I'm a sports guy, right? Man, I worked my butt off. I started reading books and started going to seminars and started going to workshops. And you know what? I started getting great at groups. Not good, but great. The average people do like 1 or 2 groups, a week. I was doing 4 groups a day because I wanted to be the best. I remember I heard Tony Robbins say, "Listen to me." When he started speaking, most people speak, once or twice a month. He would do seminars 4 times, 5 times a day, and after a while, he got phenomenally great at this. And I did, and I modeled the exact same thing. Then I went to Tony Robbins' seminar, and it completely changed my life. I was, I think, 27, 28 years old, and it changed my life. I told my friends I want to do seminars and workshops like Tony Robbins, and they laughed at me. They said that you're a stutterer. Who's going to come see you? Man, That's like being struck by lightning again. But at this point, it's a little bit different. I was not a kid. I'm gonna get what I want, regardless of what's taking place. I don't give a damn what anybody tells me. I'm gonna do this, and I did. And I started speaking. I started taking stuff like neuro-linguistic programming, became a master trainer and motivational interview and cognitive therapy. Whatever they had, I took, and I got certified on. My group started getting so popular that we're talking about, most times it'd be 30, 45 minutes, man. I'd last an hour and two of these kids didn't want to leave. I taught these kids more stuff. I had a couple of letters about a year ago. I think she's like 30 years old, and she says, "You taught us stuff when we were 14 of that they teach right now." My kids was equipped. And here's the cool thing about it, right? I learned how to work with the kids, or the teenagers, the preteens, and change them. Not have them eke by, not have them go through life completely messed up, right? But go through life with some confidence, some self-esteem, and working on the issues that they had. So I started off, guys, in mental health. That's my true love. So, and of course, I wrote a book in 2006, Connecting with Your Teen. Oh my God, that book, we think we sold like 8,000 copies, right? And I was impressed because people liked the whole concept. I told a story. I have case studies. I have the principles, the 7 principles, and how to actually work with the person, right? I had lots of mentors help me out with that book, help me out with the 7 principles, help me out with of how to actually navigate the book, and of course, I had a mom and dad who had 10 kids and who did pretty damn good raising the 10 kids. So I took so much resources and I wrote a book. And I was doing my parent and teen stuff for at least 5, 6 years, until about 2010. I was doing seminars and workshops for kids. We're talking about, I don't care what the behavior problems is. It didn't make a difference to me, right? I mean, put them in front of me, I'll fix them, right? And I started doing parenting programs and bonding the family together. And I was doing college-bound programs when a kid go from high school and go to college, right? And I was giving programs like that. And I had a 90% success rate, meaning that all my kids who went through my program, 90% of them graduated. It could be trade school or associates or bachelors or masters or PhD or MD, JD, whatever, right? And for me, that was my proud moment. Then of course I wanted to expand out and got in business, which I did. Worked with some of the great minds from Joseph McClendon, Tony Robbins, Chet Holmes. Oh my God, and the list goes on. But what I did, guys, I dedicated my life to working with parents and teens. This was my first love. So and then I had to be about 8 months ago, no, about 2 years ago, when COVID hit. I saw the COVID that was just knocking down these kids. We're talking about these kids had so much uncertainty with COVID. Um, and they didn't know what to do. And their mental health or their mental illnesses was jumping up. So here's a study done. 46% of parents said that their teens has shown signs of a new worsening mental health conditions since the start of COVID, March 2020. So what I did was I created an online course. And I created an online course to work with parents and work with teens, to give the parents and teens tools of how to actually move forward, and the teens like studying skills and memory skills, and then the list goes on, right? Because I wanted to give back, and the online course is doing decent, but I wanted to do more. I said, how about if I can create a podcast, create some tools that I am doing now and that I'm doing in the past, right? Because I stopped doing the stuff like in 2010.